Welcome to the Hudson County Show. Pat O'Melia here, your concerned Hudson County residents. Why we do the show? Because you're concerned, and we're doing it live. If you're in Jersey City, you're watching it live on Comcast Channel 190. And the rest of Hudson County, there's an issue with Optimum. But you can watch us live on Facebook, live stream, our own website, hmgtvshows.com, the Roku Network, Apple TV, Google Chromecast. For that matter, I'm in negotiations with our cable contracts. I'm sure I'm going to stay in some way or another with Comcast. Optimum, it doesn't look good for Optimum. They're just too backwards. You know, I need to be able to do things live. It's the future. In my type of business, with the talk shows, it helps to be live. When you're watching any of these shows on television, any news related, they're live shows. And we can't do that with Optimum. But they are starting to step up. I can actually transfer shows via the computer now instead of snail mailing. So they're getting there, but I don't think they'll be there when I have to make my final decisions. And, you know, we definitely have to address our streaming capabilities. Livestream.com, that's our base streaming service. For that matter, I have to negotiate with them also come in July. I think that is the future. And the streaming... And I know Comcast is adjusting quickly. They're getting into the streaming network, so I'm going to probably stay with Comcast. I know some of my shows will continue on. Hudson County and the Jersey City show, I'm not sure if they'll stay on cable networks. We have other shows we're kicking around. We'll be fooling around with some of them this afternoon. We have a new Wanted show we're working on. I'm going to send the demos out. We'll probably finish the demos today. Maybe we send them out tomorrow. Our studio is always evolving, for that matter, in North Bergen. I just sent out texts to some of the school officials about doing the North Bergen High School Best and Brightest. We used to do that every year. We didn't do it last year for some reason. But these are the things this studio needs to do. It needs to grow. It needs to work with its community, whether it's civic things like the high school, debates for political. If we can serve our community, we should. And during our hiatus, we're going to figure out what to do with the fire victim show. I'd like to be able to raise funds to have people who are burned out of their homes get back on their feet. And I don't mean putting them in some, you know, hot sheet motel somewhere where you can rent the rooms for 3 hours. Today's show, we're going to talk about outside concerns being so concerned, like the Sierra Club and the Hudson County Riverkeeper with the golf course and the marina and a power plant. We're going to talk about what's happening in Trenton, because we might be doing the Trenton show. We're going to talk about the fears of the Gateway Tunnel. We touched on this in the Jersey City show. I had some other conversations with people on that. We're going to talk about our man, Mike Francesa, if you're a big sports fan. We're going to talk about Mikey being back. We're going to do some election predictions. You got elections Tuesday. Make sure you get out and vote. And we're going to talk about Avengers Infinity War. Yes, I went to see it. I'm a big Marvel guy. Actually, I like all the superhero stuff. I watch DC stuff, too. But right now, we got to watch some commercials. We're going to break. You're watching the Hudson County Show. I'll be right back. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. We're back. You're watching the Hudson County Show. We're hanging on our consumer carpet. For that matter, I was just with Nelson recently. Nelson does more than just carpet. He does linoleum, he does tiles, he does hardwood floors, does those Prego floors. Of course, numerous types of carpeting you can get there. You go in there, there's a lot of carpeting in that store. There's a lot of floor coverings. And he's going to do some work, I think Wednesday, at my kid's house in Seaside Heights. they travel. They're going to refinish the floors. They're all hardwood, pine floors, I think. I'm a city guy. I don't know wood. But Nelson and his gang are going down there. They're going to refinish 7 floors in total. And on the top floor, they're going to do what's called a whitewash. On the bottom floor will be like a regular wood grain, but up top will be a whitewash. I don't know. My wife picked it. I just go with the flow, like most husbands do. I go with the flow. The Sierra Club, you know them. They're always in there for the open space and clean air. Now, listen, I'm not against open space and clean air where it's practical. I'm not against parks. I just don't think we need a bunch of parks. For that matter, Hoboken. I'm going down Harrison Avenue to Newark Avenue by Observer Highway in Hoboken, coming down Patterson Plank Road, which reminds me, I got to talk to somebody about the lights at the light rail station there. There's a park that they built that used to be a parking lot across the street from an old industrial building that has a window shade company. There's a gym in there. So I'm looking at the park as I'm sitting in traffic because the traffic is ridiculous there. Hoboken engineers traffic. There's 2 people in the park. I'm looking, this is around 4:30, I guess. There's 2 people in the park, and they're from the gym. Now, the gym, they used to have people run around the building. They get in shape, part of the training method. Now they got the people in the park, and I'm like, one thing Hoboken really needs is parking. But no, let's build parks where we should have parking, and it's great for the gym there. But, maybe there's a bunch of people at 8 o'clock. I don't know, but I didn't see it. You got the Sierra Club and the Hackensack River Keeper. They are speaking out against multiple platforms of environmental disservice in their minds. First off, Liberty State Park. Actually, I want to follow up before we go on hiatus. I'd like to get Miss McCabe on the show. She is the new head of the DEP. The Sierra Club and the Riverkeepers, they're against the expansion of a marina. Now, I've never seen an ugly marina. I happen to like the looks of marina. When I'm going down to Seaside Heights where we have the studio, I enjoy seeing the marinas. It's very relaxing. It's very tranquil. I've never seen an ugly marina. Even the one in Jersey City here. When you're going down to Liberty State Park, you see the ships, the sails, and there is something tranquil about that. The marina wants to expand because there's a big hobby with boating. And it's not millionaires who have boats. The average Joe is out there with his boat. He's a weekend boater. He's fishing. He's crabbing, whatever he's doing. It's not all millionaires. And they pitch this thing, it's a millionaire marina. No, it's not a millionaires. It's going to be about, maybe there'll be a few, but for the most part, it's the average Joe that has a boat where, some people like me have the antique cars. These guys prefer to throw their money in a hole in the water. I prefer to throw my money in cars. I'm doing that right now. I got one of my cars at Goya in Jersey City. The Cadillac's getting, I don't know, daily $600-700 work on it. That's me and my cars. But my Cadillac will become my new Dodge. I can see myself restoring that. There is a golf course there, Liberty National. They want to expand. They want to expand it. They want to move 3 of the holes so they can have more golf course rooms. I never played Liberty National, and you may say that's a millionaire's golf course because it does cost a ton of money. But when I did radio, when we did fundraisers for fire victims, and Hoboken was one of them, the people at Liberty National were nice enough to give us a round of golf that we could auction off to help the people who were burned out of a building in Hoboken years ago. I think Albio Series and Tom DeGeese were the high bidders, so they wouldn't play golf. They seem like nice enough I can't afford to play golf there, and I'm not really a golfer anyway. And Nicholas Sacco in North Bergen is encouraging a natural gas-fired generating station that will generate electricity predominantly for New York City. But what it will do for North Bergen is huge amount of tax relief for the property owners in North Bergen. It'll create jobs. It'll recreate tax relief. And as I get into the state segments, because we're talking about doing a state show, So I'm going to give you a little more state stuff each week before when a guy hates. It's almost a weekly thing. 2% tax here, 3% tax there. We want to tax Lyft. We want to tax e-cigarettes. Governor Murphy is out there taxing left and right. Sick leave, I'll get into that. As I said in previous shows, what's happening in New Jersey, whether it's coming from Trenton or the municipalities or a school budget or the county, there's a death of 1,000 cuts. Any way you can cut taxes that are paid for by your property taxes is an excellent idea. Nicholas Sacco has the right idea in North Bergen. He can bring an almost $2 billion power plant into North Bergen. And listen, this isn't a coal-burning, power plant. This is natural gas, and it will run clean. It's, I wouldn't have a problem having one in my neighborhood, especially if you can get cheaper gas, electric. Now, as we move on, every year at home, you see it. You get more electrical devices. You need more outlets at home. You need more Wi-Fi. Everything is electrical. Now, at the house we have in Jersey City, I got to bring an electrician, and we have to upgrade the electrical there. It's probably at least 50 years old, so that's all got to be upgraded. The last time they did it, there's 3-prong plugs and all, so maybe it's not 50. But I got to bring it up to spec because we need more outlets in every room because there's so much more of an electrical need. You go back, just go back 25 years ago. What do you need the juice for? Your stereo, your television, and your VCR. Now everything's plugged in. You get Alexa. Yeah, sometimes I turn Alexa on over there, but that's a different name on that one. They got smart plugs, they got smart lights. You can tell Alexa to do anything. That's how your homes are becoming. They're becoming smart homes. Everything has to be plugged in. So there's going to be a huge need. Electric cars. If Tesla ever gets their act together, there will be more electric cars. I know Chevrolet's dabbled in it, but they haven't exactly proven the technology yet to be as reliable as needed. But we need more juice, whether it's for North Bergen or New York City. We need more juice. We're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. We'll be right back.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together. We're back, Hudson County Show live. Pat O'Melia here. You're concerned, Hudson County residents. Why we do the show? Because you're concerned. Getting back to this power plant. Now, supposedly, it's going to basically send electricity to New York City, which needs as much electricity as they can get, especially with some of the dumbass moves that Cuomo makes there, where he's cutting back on the nuclear power. He wants to go all green, solar, and wind. Well, the people in New York, you're going to have a lot of brownouts if he goes that way. Anywhere we can build up the electrical grid in the Northeast. Now, remember, you can easily divert juice also because it's going over these power lines, and I'm sure if there's a way that North Bergen can get some free electricity, you'll probably get some there. But it is an excellent deal for North Bergen. The property owners in North Bergen will be doing a happy dance. And again, the way Nick Sacco runs North Bergen, you have one side is his residential world. The western side of Tunnelly Avenue 1 and 9 is Nick's industrial world. He doesn't like the two interacting. Even though we got some residential on this side of Tunnelly here where my studio is. West Side Avenue, there's no houses there. It's all industrial. Where he's talking about this plant going on Railroad Avenue, it's an industrial area. The people in North Bergen may not even see this plant. unless they're up on a hill, which a lot of people in the hills in North Bergen, they will be ecstatic to see their property tax bill go down because Nick is going to get a tremendous amount of tax revenue out of this. When we get back to Liberty State Park, with the expansion of the golf course and the marina, between those two, they may actually cover the operating cost of Liberty State Park, which is about $3.5 to $4 million a year. And we're not counting any jobs that will come out of this. There's jobs will be attached to this marina. That's $3.5, $4 million a year. You, a New Jersey property owner who pays New Jersey property taxes and every other tax in New Jersey, won't have to pay. Now, in the big picture, that's a drop in the bucket. But you know, you get enough drops in that bucket, you can take a drink. So we need to get a lot of drops in the bucket. If we can figure out a way to cover that expense, or most of it, and what isn't covered by lease and rental that come from the lease, and don't forget there is that pesky bulkhead that needs to be replaced to the tune of $40 or $50 million at Liberty State Park, and it was damaged during Sandy. Now, some people, these Sierra clubs and the river keepers and all, say, well, you can bond for that. Well, somebody's got to pay the bonds, and that's you. So, you know, bonding for it isn't like it's some magic money that, you know, trickles out of the sky. It's your money. So if we can get the marina to do the $40, $50 million bulkhead, plus give us a lease rate, a rent check every month for the new marina, you know, and keep in mind, I forget how many thousands of acres there are down at Liberty State Park. They're not, you know, paving over Liberty State Park. Where you go right now in Liberty State Park, you will continue to go at Liberty State Park. Now, Liberty State Park needs some upkeep. It needs some upgrades. It could be best described as shabby. Now, if you go down to Liberty State Park, you know what I'm talking about is shabby. You know, there's some parts of the cobblestone is missing. You look to the left or the right, you can see where a bench, you know, things that need to be fixed and upgraded. And this could be done. Now, we get the lease rate, and then you enter into an agreement with the city of Jersey City, the state of New Jersey, and the county of Hudson as to maintaining that park. Right now, the state does it. But here's Liberty State Park in Hudson County in Jersey City, and we're not involved in that. Jersey City has a parks department. Hudson County has a parks department. They could be maintaining Liberty State Park and sending a bill to the state, and it would save the state money because they wouldn't have employees dedicated to Liberty State Park. So you get the shared services between Jersey City, the county of Hudson, and New Jersey. You get lease rates every month, a rental check every month from the golf course and the new marina, and I don't think there's your tax money now. So that's a win-win, and still there's, you know, the muskrats will be able to muskrat dance in the park, and you'll be able to go and look at the Trade Center, the new World Trade Center. You know, when you look at everything, I like Sam Pessin. Sam Pessin's a great guy. His family founded the Liberty State Park. When they were going to put in, when they put in Empty Skies, the 9/11 State Memorial, it was, oh, you're going to block the views. It'll be the end of Liberty State Park because you'll put this monument here. Well, the monument's there, and guess what? You could still see New York City. It's not like you got to peek around or anything. You know, you can't miss New York City. You can still see the Statue of Liberty, and you can still, you know, sit on a bench. You can sit on the grass, have a picnic. Now, I'm going to tell you another thing. Anytime I've been to Liberty State Park, it's not like there are people online with their picnic basket waiting to get in. There seems to be a lot of room. You know, and they keep talking about, oh, it's so utilized. No. You know, if we don't figure out a way to cover the expenses of Liberty State Park, and I guess that's $3.5, $4 million, maybe there's going to be an emission there. Oh, people be crying, hey, that river keeper guy, you'll be coming up with a submarine torpedo in you. Now, these river keeper guys and the Sierra Club and Friends of Liberty State Park, you know, did they ever put any donations in? Yeah, I know they all fundraise. Does anybody say, call a DP and say, listen, we're going to write a check to assist with the upkeep of Liberty State Park. I wonder if that happens. Do any of them, because they constantly, the Tittle guy, oh my God, he's against everything. But what they're against is saving the property tax owners, the property owners here, the taxes. Now, nobody's, like I said, nobody's going to build industrial sites at Liberty State Park. It's a friggin' marina, and they're going to expand the golf course. And, you know, but it was okay with Liberty Science Center. Well, they're going to build a hotel there and they're going to build some schools. For some reason, that was okay. But commercialism, where we can actually get some money, you know, Liberty Science Center, it was not too long ago. They were swimming in red. They're probably still swimming in red. We don't know what the whole number is. But, you know, Jersey City had to lend the money. And I still, to this day, cannot get an answer. Did Liberty Science Center ever pay back Jersey City? Probably didn't. But, you know, that for them to build a hotel and a school and some other buildings, that seemed to be okay. Yep, okay. Oh, it's Liberty Science Center. And Marina, you know, we can get some money out of that. Golf course, we can get some money out of that. That power plant, North Bergen people will be doing the happy dance when Nick Sacco opens that. And he cuts that ribbon, and they turn that thing on, and they start writing the check to North Bergen. The people in North Bergen, you'll be seeing them doing the cha-cha going up the hills in North Bergen. There'll be some happy folks. We're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. I'll be right back.
Introducing the MyJCMC app, powered by Practice Unite. The free MyJCMC app puts the power of healthcare at your fingertips. Go to the concierge for access to referrals, scheduling, and appointments, see emergency room wait times, and get directions to Jersey City Medical Center health locations. Read the latest JCMC news through their social media feed, find a doctor, and more. The MyJCMC app. We belong to you.
It takes more than a state-of-the-art medical facility to make a great hospital. It takes a team of dedicated medical professionals. That's the Jersey City Medical Center, Hudson County's #1 hospital. Medical teams consisting of New Jersey's top doctors, Magnet Award-winning nurses, and accomplished hospital associates, all committed to your good health. That's what you have at the Jersey City Medical Center. Make Hudson County's #1 hospital your first choice. Visit us on the web at barnabashealth.org.
We be back. We be the Hudson County Show. We be Pat O'Melia. You be a Hudson County concerned resident. Let's talk about the state of New Jersey. Like I said, we're kicking around an idea of doing a show dedicated to what's happening in Trenton. There's a lot of things happening in Trenton. You just don't hear about it unless it is some big bill, some big piece of legislation is done. But there's a lot of little legislation that's done. You don't hear anything about it. You know, you'd like to know what your senators and assembly people are doing. We're thinking about doing that. If it doesn't become its own show, it'll become a segment on our other shows. But I'd like to see it become a show. Governor Murphy just signed into law a sick leave pay package. I know there's a limit to the amount of employees, I think. If you have something like 20 employees, I got to read, you know, when you look at these bills, this legislation that comes out of there, it's like volumes. The business associations of New Jersey were against this, and I understand why. You know, it just, to me, it's another tax. Now, if you're working for a good company, you don't have an issue with sick pay. You know, my guys miss a day, I'll pay them. You know, I'll pay him if it's a legitimate excuse. There's some school-related thing or some education-related thing or some family. You know, I don't, you know, beat my guys over the head. If they're legitimately sick, they get paid for that too. If you work for a good company, you don't have those issues. And I'm not talking maternity leave. I'm talking about somebody, and it's wording in this legislation, well, you have mental health issues, you have physical issues, somebody in your family has a mental issue or a physical issue or a friend, it's pretty broad. For that matter, there's also another bill that addresses the concerns of the sick leave pay. So Trenton is actually, you know, double talking themselves down there. So I got to look at that bill. When you look at what's happening in the committees, it gets really confusing. And they'll discuss a bill, and all of a sudden this bill will go, you know, be tabled somewhere. But the sick leave, for a lot of businesses, and I think for every 40 hours worked, a person would earn 1 hour of sick leave, and they can use it during the course of the year. Like I said, if you're with a decent company, then you're going to get vacation. If you take a day off, they're going to probably pay you. I know we do here. If you don't work for a good company, well, why is that? Well, it probably has something to do with your qualification, your education background. If you're qualified in your field and you have education, you got a skill set or a craft or something that makes you valuable to a company, you're going to work for a good company. If, on the other hand, you have no skill set, you have no education, you have no craft, then chances are you're going to work for a pretty crappy company, because most good companies want some education and skill sets. Those are the people this bill is protecting, the people who did not go to school, people who did not acquire life skills, did not get a degree, did not go into a field or have the educational background or the internship or the apprenticeship or whatever it is for a trade, and they work for, I want to knock gas stations, but they're working at gas stations or menial labor position, and this bill protects those people. Well, like I said, if you have skills and you work for a good company, you don't need that type of protection. But I guess we have to try to protect everybody. It behooves you to go out and get an education and acquire skills or a trade, whatever you want to be. If you don't have skills or an education or craft or some sort of a trade, I guarantee you're not going to have a successful life. It's simple as that. You have no marketable skill, trade, craft, that sort of thing, and you will live a menial life. You'll never make a good paycheck. And what's sad, you see that occurring with broken families. Especially in the studio, when people come in here and you're doing the shows and you hear their backgrounds, and I can guarantee you the people who come from a family unit where there was mom and dad and they were raised there. Yeah, you'll hear guys, or gals saying, well, my dad was a fireman and he encouraged me to become a fireman, or my parents made sure I went to school. I got this PhD now, or I have a medical certificate. You always hear when they're talking about how they got to where they are, you'll hear that family unit there. And it's sad when you see these kids that come from broken homes, and a large percentage of them are going to live menial lives unless somebody is saying, you got to go to school, you got to have a trade, you got to learn this, you got to acquire these skills. And I speak from experience. My parents were gone when I was 8, and I went from foster homes and all those things. I started taking jobs as a mechanic. I was very young when I did that. But fortunately, I was able to divert myself and get back on a functional beam. Not everybody can do that. And it's important that you have some mentors in your life, or you maybe get married early and you got a wife that says, hey, listen, you got to grow up. You got to use whatever skills you have to move along in life. And fortunately, I was able to use my mechanical skills. We have a bill in the Assembly, none in the Senate yet, to regulate sports betting at casinos and racetracks. Now, the Supreme Court is going to render a decision on sports betting in New Jersey, probably any week now. And New Jersey wants to be ready to jump at a moment's notice. I know the racetracks are ready to go. I know positively Monmouth Racetrack is ready to start sports betting as soon as it's permissible. Of course, the state of New Jersey wants to get in on it. They're established strictly right now an Assembly bill. There's none in the Senate. That's figuring out the tax on it, or the VIG, whatever you want to call it. Approximately in the Assembly bill, there will be a 15% tax on the wages. Now, I didn't read into the whole bill, again, because this is still, being discussed, and it's like that thick. I didn't read what the tax is on the winnings. See, this is where the bookie, listen, the NFL is the biggest sport that's bet on. And you got that bookie, for every $5 bet, you pay $1 big on it. sports, even you legalize sports betting, you're going to have to go to the track or the casino to do it. I don't think you're going to be able to do that online. I don't know how they'll manage that. But your bookie, you just have to pick up the phone. Al, I want to put a 10-timer on the Giants. You want to, wheel or whatever. Yeah, it's going to be cheaper with the bookie than it is with the state. But if we can get this passed, I'm going to tell you, racetracks immediately will be at maximum capacity. You will see people lined up watching the games there. You'll have some monster screens, and they'll be placing their bets, and they'll be watching this because there's some die-hard bettors with some real gambling addictions when it comes to the NFL season. We're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport. Live like you want.
Pen & Pencil Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at penandpencilproperties.com. Pen and Pencil Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
We're back. You're watching the Hudson County Show. You're watching it live. I'm doing it live. I'm Pat Amelia. You're a Hudson County resident. What do I want to do? I want to answer this question or I want to do this segment? What do you want me to do, Greg? All right, let me finish this and we'll answer a question. Moving on, out of Trenton, Public Service Gas and Electric has managed to get $300 million a year in subsidies from the state of New Jersey, i.e. they're going to be allowed to put a fee on your bill that will cost the average public service gas and electric customer about $40 a year. And those $40 will add up to $300 million to keep the nuclear reactors here in New Jersey working and providing electricity. The PS&G is claiming with the low cost of natural gas, these nuclear plants are not profitable, but it's good to have them online because it's electric. You need to feed the grid, and there are a lot of jobs attached to it. But it turns out, surprise, surprise, that of your $40 that adds up to that $300 million, your money will be leaving the state of New Jersey to prop up other nuclear reactors in other states that are involved with PS&G, whether in full ownership or in partnership. I'm not sure that was spelled out in the bill, and if you recall when I spoke about this, this is a Steve Sweeney bill, and I think Steve is probably one of the best senators we have, but these reactors were in Steve Sweeney's district, and you know Steve is a union guy, and Steve is a job guy. So Mr. Sweeney wants to do all he can to save jobs. And, of course, you need the juice. We can't allow electrical providers to stop providing electric or the grid gets weaker. But we do have a problem, and Mr. Sweeney is going to have to look in this now to say, wait a minute here. That subsidies was for these 2 reactors in New Jersey, not to be going to Pennsylvania or other states that PS&G is involved with. Hopefully, Mr. Sweeney, actually, I'll probably follow up with that one, Mr. Sweeney. The state of New Jersey has ratified a contract with the CWA, Communications Workers Association. It represents about 35,000 state employees. And Governor Christie, for 8 years, wrestled with them. Governor Christie tried to hold the line. And you know, the more I start, now listen, I want Murphy to be super successful. He's got to be 2 terms, because that means his first term was good. I'm starting to have questions in that way. But one of the things, for all you want to say about Christie, and a lot of people said it, he did try to hold the line, and he was tough with negotiations, whether it be the CWA or teachers' unions, what have you. All the unions hated Christie. Murphy has solved the contract, 4-year contract. The state workers will receive increases 2-3% a year, plus they will receive increases retroactive to 2015. Speculation. Now, Governor Murphy has said he does not know the final cost of this agreement, which is kind of baffling, don't you think? Until, you know, I guess it was like Obamacare, remember? We got to pass it so we can read it. I guess we have to ratify this contract before we find out what's in it. There are some people who are speculating there could be increases of thousands of dollars in payroll for these 35,000 members, and there's increases in the pension and the health and welfare costs, and you know who pays for that? That'll be you. I get the feeling that, and I hope I'm wrong, that Governor Murphy is on the Florio-McGreevy-Corzine one-and-done highway, because Governor Murphy firmly believes we could charge taxes and raise taxes if the people in New Jersey see the results of it. Boy, we better start seeing some real results here, or sadly, he might be one and done. But listen, he's got a little less than 4 years. You know, he's new. He just did 100 days. What's our question, Mr. Gregg? Let me say. Why does Tom DeGise not support Sacco for head of the Dem Party? Well, I don't think Sacco wants to be the head of the Dem Party. You should. Is that Stack? I think that's Stack. I don't think it's Sacco. That should be Stack. That's a mistake. That's not Stack. Why doesn't Tom DeGise support Brian Stack as the head of the HCDO? Well, he did at one point, until the mega powers sat down with him. The mega powers being Brian Stack and Steve Fulop of Jersey City, and informed them that they are not going to support him for re-election. And since Brian Stack is sure to be the new chairman of the HCDO, Brian Stack will control the line. Now, keep in mind, Tommy DeGise, who has an event tonight, by the way, at Liberty House. I didn't get invited, but oddly enough, my youngest daughter did. Tom has been the county exec since 2002. He's got like 16, 17 years in there. The mega powers felt the change was needed. And if you know Brian Stack, he wants people at work 24/7, 365, well, 366 if there's a leap year in there. I kind of believe, and we may never get a solid reason for this, I believe Tom DeGise was collateral damage for a North Hudson war targeted at Nick Sacco, but nobody will agree with me there. Tom DeGise is not going to support Brian Stack. Tom DeGise is working very hard to find somebody to run against Brian Stack for chairman of the HCDO. Tom may have to run himself as a candidate against Brian Stack, because everyone they have spoken to has turned it down. The last, and there's been a bunch of names, the last names we're hearing is Zadroja Hart. She ran for assembly and got spanked by Nick Shabalotti in the 31st District. That's the only name outside of people saying, well, you know, Tom, if you want to have a candidate to run against Brian Stack, you may have to do it yourself. There may be an announcement coming out of tonight's event at the Liberty House. But going back, Tom did have the nod from the mega powers, and then there was a change. I believe DeGise was collateral damage, and that had to do with the aforementioned Nick Shabalotti receiving a very prestigious job at the Hudson County Community College. But in that position with the County Community College job, you needed the degrees. And Nick Shabalotti is an attorney by trade. He is a very well-educated person. So he was qualified for that. The other one is Vinnie Pietro, the former assembly person from the 32nd District and former Speaker of the Assembly, got a very nice job at the Sports and Exposition Authority in the Meadowlands for a nice little princely sum of about $250,000 a year. I think that rankled Brian Stack, the Chevrolet position. If you watched the interview with Steve Fulop on the Jersey City show, he admitted that was a problem, that nobody spoke to him. So there was factors involved. But Tom, with politics, you live by that political sword, you will eventually die by that political sword. We're going to break for commercial. Hopefully I answered your question. We'll be right back.
Plaza Auto Body, 700 Tunley Avenue in Jersey City. Your local collision specialist. Body and fender repair. On-site oven-baked paintwork. Fiberglass repair experts. Custom and classic car restoration. All insurance is welcome. 24-hour towing available. Licensed by the state of New Jersey. Plaza Auto Body, 700 Tunley Avenue, 201-222-3050. Plaza Auto Body, your bumper-to-bumper buddy.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
I'll be back. Pat O'Melia, you know who you are. We're live. You know who you are. Do I got to tell you who you are? Actually, we ready to do some events? Yes? Let's see what's going on in Hudson. Let me put my other glasses on. Where are we starting? Bayonne. We're going over to the land of Jimmy Davis. Bayonne. What's happening in Bayonne? Musical Monday at the museum. What are the museums doing? We covered that. It used to be a bank. It is on May the 7th. Circle that date. At 6:30, it's at Bayonne Museum at 229 Broadway in Bayonne. You're going to have a bunch of music going on. The doors open at 6 p.m. The event starts at 6:30. Sounds like a good weekend deal. Let's see, Seacork, where am I going? Seacork is next. We're going to North Bergen. We're going to North Bergen. Here we go. We'll go to the land of Sacco. Movie of the month, The Greatest Showman with the Wolverine. Is that, yeah, there it is, Wolverine. Well, actually, it's Hugh Jackman there. For that matter, I just seen a piece where Hugh Jackman was celebrating his birthday, and Deadpool is behind him, where Hugh Jackman said, here, the least greatest showman of all time, Deadpool. Let's see, this is May the 10th, 1 p.m. Of course, it's going to be in the Uptown Public Library, Saurayer, at 830, 8411 Bergen Avenue. It was a good movie. A lot of musical, and Jackman could sing. What we got? Oh, we got Star Wars. Where's Star Wars? What's that? Oh, this is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you? Okay. May the 4th be with you. Take off on May the 4th. Well, if you got to explain it, then it's not a good takeoff. This is on May the 4th, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. The location is the Uptown Public Library at 8411 Bergen Avenue. There will be crafts. There will be a scavenger hunt. There will be a photo booth. There will be a Jedi obstacle course. There will be cookie decorating. A lot of stuff going on. Where are we going next? Union City again? Oh, here, okay. Cinco de Mayo. That's this weekend, isn't it? Yeah, that's Cinco de Mayo is this weekend. When we had Mayor Healy in Jersey City, he Cinco'd it up a lot. Of course, that will be on May the 4th, be with you on Cinco de Mayo. The location is the Colin Powell School on 1500 New York Avenue. It's live music. It is Mexican food. It is free admission because it is done by Brian Stack. What else we got? Seacork is going over to Ganelli. I understand he's doing quite well. He had a medical issue there a while ago, a stroke, but he's doing quite well. You have a fishing derby. Where are we fishing? This is a Hackensack, I guess so. It'll be on May the 5th. The location is 100 Metro Way in Seacorkers. Yep, that's Hackensack River. The description is prize, food, and more, and you do some fishing. Fishing in Seacorkers. We got a Green Festival coming up. Where's your Green Festival? Green Festival, that's on May the 5th, 11 to 4 p.m. The location is Seacorkers Exchange. That's down by the train station here. At 5000 Riverside Station Boulevard. Yep, the train station. And the description there is free entertainment, music, and food. It's just a festival. It is the festival, Festivus. What do we got? All right, let's move on. Brian Stack. Yeah, I host the Tom's River Show. I host a lot of shows, and we got the shore shows coming into production pretty soon. The weather's changing. It's like 90 degrees today. Last week we were freezing. Now we got 90 degrees. In Tom's River, there are homeless advocates who are doing all they can to house the homeless. And it's really hard to get the municipalities and the counties to come up with the money to do this. And I believe we should try to help the homeless in every way we can. For that matter, years ago, I served on the homeless committee with Brian Stack. I think both of us got frustrated because everybody was in it for money. But Brian, if you know Mayor Stack, Senator Stack, he wants to help the constituents. He doesn't care if you got a lot of money or you're a homeless person. You're in Union City, he's going to help you. He has proposed legislation in Trenton to construct tiny houses. You see that show, Tiny Homes, where it's like 300 square feet, and it's like a trailer that you pull behind your car. They're very small, but people are living in these things now. Brian Stack has legislation going through. Do I got the? I don't know if I had the number here, but Brian had this legislation in Trenton. There's a bill where for every tiny house built, 2 credits towards the affordable housing will be utilized. So if you're one of those communities that, you've got to come up with 1,400 units of affordable housing, this could be an answer. This could work well in Tom's River, Ocean County, could work well in Hudson County. Now the question, and in California, they're offering property owners to pay to build tiny houses in their backyard and allow the homeless to live in the backyards. I suppose they got to have separate egresses, that sort of thing. But you're just not going to build one little tiny house. There's got to be a cluster. There's got to be a community of tiny houses. And the question becomes, where do you put them? Where, again, we're doing a Hudson County show. Where would you put them in Union City or in Jersey City? Jersey City, we could probably find some space, but like I said, you would have a cluster of them. I don't know if they'd be all separate standing, or you can have like condominiums of these tiny houses. But props to Brian Stack, and we didn't hear about this up here. We got wind of this from the Tom's River show, that Brian Stack was the guy sponsoring this bill, and the assemblywoman, I think Annette Charo from Hoboken, is sponsoring it in the assembly. And it's going to cost, the feds are looking to get Fed money to do this. It will cost about $3 million. But it's interesting, where would you put it in Hudson County? Like I said, it would, it's not just we're talking one tiny house. Oh, one tiny house. There's going to have to be a collection of tiny houses. There will be a little tiny house development set up there. I don't know how many tiny houses you can build, or we put them on top of each other. But I applaud Brian Stack for taking the initiative. You got elections coming up. This Tuesday in Union City, I am predicting, without a runoff, Brian Stack and his entire ticket will be successful. They are also running unopposed, so they just got to vote for themselves. And winner, chicken dinner. In Bayonne, I'm predicting a runoff between Jimmy Davis and Jason O'Donnell. If it is extremely close, it'll be a very difficult runoff for Jimmy Davis. Jimmy Davis is going to have to, it will be a runoff, but he's going to have to be way ahead of O'Donnell and not have to worry about this runoff. But I think it's going to be a lot closer in Bayonne than people are predicting. Also, I think Jason O'Donnell's running mates are going to do quite well in this election coming up. But I'm going to guarantee you there will be a runoff in Bayonne, and if there's a runoff, we will do a runoff debate here. Now, I stepped aside for the Davis team because they kind of double-crossed us with our April 26th, and I wanted to make sure I didn't cost Jay O'Donnell any votes, so I stepped away. But if there's a runoff, we will do a runoff debate live here in the studio. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. We'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
We're back. We're live. We're unscripted outside of some notes I got here. But we are live. And remember, if you need to get in touch with me, go to our website, HMGTV shows. You got the contact section there. Send me an email. Got a story idea, a tip. If you got a business that is opening, you want to, wish somebody happy birthday. We're willing to work with you. Whatever you need, we'll get the information out. All right, my sports fans. Mike Francesa is back on the fan. As I said on Tuesday's show, when he came back on the Jersey City show, the only person I know that could ever go home again to employment was Steve Jobs, going back to Apple. Mike came back, and for the first hour or so, it was interesting. Mike's back. You haven't heard Mike since like the beginning of December. And then it was a case of Mike's back. Now, Mike is an icon, and he is the sports doctor, the sports pope, whatever you want to call him. But it felt like a rerun. I heard this before. It would have been different if Mike was on ABC or WOR, where everything was fresh. But this wasn't fresh now. This is just Mike back, basically from, a long vacation. And it wasn't compelling enough for me to keep it on. And again, I'm a Francesa fan. I go back with FAN from the days when they were on 1060 WEBD, before they merged up with the 660. I like Mike, but this was not a good move for Mike going back. First, he was in hostile territory. You had a new afternoon drive show with Chris Carlin and Maggie Gray and Bart Scott. And actually, I had been listening to them because Chris Carlin's been around FAN for a million years. I like them, Maggie Gray, and Bart Scott, you have to give him more time. FAN should have given that crew more time. So what they did to fit Mike back in, Mike's doing 3 to 6:30. Chris Carlin and Maggie Gray and Scott are doing 1 to 3, and Beningo and Evan are doing 10 to 1. You could see eventually, Joe Beningo's talking about leaving anyway. You're going to see a little change. You're not going to have a 2-hour talk show there. But I don't think Mike is going to, I don't think he's going to rule the ratings books anymore, because I don't know what was missing. But like I said, to me, it was like listening to a rerun. There was no, this is new, this is fresh. Mike's been there for 30 years. Now he's back again, and it just didn't seem right to me. Gold badges. Now, Senator from Monmouth County, Ben Coppell, he is pushing legislation in Trenton to take the badges away from anybody who is not in law enforcement or corrections. Freeholders have badges. Council people have badges. Health and Human Services, everybody has badges. And some of these people, you're just seeing somebody from the Port Authority flashing a gold badge. We had a freeholder here in Hudson County recently, a friend of mine, I'll leave him nameless because he didn't want to hear this. He got into a road rage situation where he pulled out his freeholder badge. Why, I don't know. You're pretending you're a cop then. None of these people should have badges. And if you're one of those people that have that PBA badge or FOB badge, suction cup to your windshield by your inspection sticker, and you think you're not going to get a ticket, well, first off, the parking enforcement people are not police. They are not FOBs. They couldn't give a rat's butt if you had one of those badges. I'm going to tell you another thing. If a cop pulls you over, he gives probably less if you have one of those badges. So whoever sold you that for $100 or $200, you just should have just given them a check. because that thing is not going to help you. The only people who should have a badge are cops, the correction. If you can write a summons, maybe you should have a badge, but that's it. Where are we going? Avengers, Infinity War. Now, I'm a Marvel guy. I like superhero movies. Batman, I like Justice League. I had no problem with that. It was weirdly edited, and the storylines kind of didn't pan out. But, you know, it is a superhero movie, and if you're looking for logic, you're not going to find it, because we really don't have people that fly or run super fast, or women that can deflect bullets with their bracelets. You know, it's fantasy. It's an escape for a couple hours. I like Superman versus Batman. I'm big on Marvel. You know, Cap and Spider-Man and Thor and the Hulk. I mean, I'm in there. I'll watch those movies over and over. For that matter, they're having like a marathon between two channels on DirecTV. Yeah, one channel I had Spider-Man Homecoming, the Avengers, Captain America First Avenger. I was getting superheroed out. Went to see Avengers Infinity War. I want to be wowed. Everybody, you know, got Guardians of the Galaxy are in there. We're throwing everybody in this. You know, Spidey's in there. Everyone's in it. And I was not wowed. Of the Avenger movies, and there have been 3, Avengers Age of Ultron, and Avengers Infinity War, I would rank Avengers Infinity War as the number 3. It was not as good as Age of Ultron. Now, it is a part 1 of part 2. So it could be redeemed. I didn't see the second half of the movie, basically, because I got to wait a year for Avengers 4, whatever I name that thing, post-Infinity War. There were a lot of good points to it, but, you know, I guess the loose ends will be tied up in the second. But I will admit, the Marvel, they cut back on a lot of the comedy. They allowed serious parts of the movie to be a serious part. You know, Star-Lord, when he found out well, I don't want to ruin anything for you. Well, that's the other thing, by the way. Again, spoiler alert, there will be Avengers that die. But again, you know, how many times has Loki died? They do have a tendency to come back. We know there are certain movies coming out in the next 2 years. So if you have Avengers that possibly could die when we know there are movies coming out in a couple of years, you have to sit scratching your head saying, well, what the hell happened here? We know what movies are in the pipeline. So that didn't make a lot of sense, but you will enjoy it. You're not going to look at your watch. That's my sign. If I'm at a movie and I wear my Indiglo watch when I go to the theater, because I can press the button and see what time it is. If I don't go to the button and you see the blue light up on my watch, the movie's okay. You know, if you see the blue light, not bad. Now, it was enjoyable. I strongly suggest that you see it. It will break all records. It will be the first movie to reach $1 billion. But I look forward to the part 2 of this. All right, I am out of show. Don't forget our website, HMG TV shows. You got something you need to ask me about? You need some help, county, municipally, consumer? Send me an email. You be good, you be safe. I'll talk to you Tuesday on the Jersey City Show. Good night.